What is the cost of living in Nike City? What the hell? Alright, this one is interesting.
This video is brought to you by War Thunder. In a previous video, we discussed whether GTA 5 or Cyberpunk 2077 were safer places to live, and the conclusion we
What
came
the
to was
fuck?
that under no circumstances, for any sane reason, should you go anywhere near Night City. It is the most
Yeah,
dangerous.
what the fuck? How can you see Night City and then said like, oh, I wanna live there? What the fuck? I mean, not I like cyberpunk genre, but I'm not like want to live in it. Like Jesus Christ, I don't want to just walk around the street and then suddenly my organ get harvested by some random dude in the van or something. Jesus Christ.
City in fiction, featuring gangs equipped with weapons capable of raising an entire nation. A state of living so poor that the trash and waste piles above the buildings you could be living in.
Yeah, it's
You'll be
also there.
constantly wondering if tomorrow is the day you'll finally bite the bullet. There is absolutely no reason why you should visit Night City, let alone live there. But what if we ignored all that and moved there? What would it be like working and living in the region? How
Oh
much would
God.
it actually cost to live in Night City?
Immediate
Today we're going to figure that
homelessness.
out, but before we dive into the main question, we first have to answer a few smaller questions to make sure we are on the same page. Number 1, what do we need to live in the city? And number 2, what is the value of the local currency? For question 1, we have to decide what is considered a necessary cost to survive in Night City, the pillars, so to speak, of living here. We can immediately put down the basic needs of every human on Earth. Food, water, shelter, all are necessary to not die. The basics aren't the only things we're gonna have to account for though. The cost of transportation if you have to commute for work, regular medical care, taxes, or lifestyle needs as well.
Just just all cars. Just all some cars on the street. Just all some cars on the street.
Have to be considered. But the numbers here can fluctuate a lot depending on your current circumstances. If you're living with a partner, for instance, or have a child, ignore the fact
Anam.
that you'd have to be a madman to move here with a child and instead put together a template to start from. This V is going to be our template to work off from. His name is Vic. Vic is an adult man in good health, mostly. He has some skills in the technical field that could offer him decent work, and his lifestyle stays relatively simple, with no partner or child to speak of. Hallucinations of rocker boys do not count for this analysis. Knowing who we're working with helps, but none of that really matters if we don't have money. And before we can make money, we have to ask, what is a Eurodollar?
The ED, or
It's
European.
like every nation and shit already European or something. The European currency unit is the primary currency used in Europe and North America. Whatever part of Night City you're in right now, it's safe to assume you need euro dollar to live. Yeah, like yeah.
Currency unit is the primary currency used in Europe and North America, whatever part of Night City you're in right now. It's safe to assume you need euro dollars to live.
Are you even from this game?
Is it that weird for us to be here when you already
Oh wait,
have
this is what is the name of the game again? Ah fuck. God damn it. Yeah, I've seen this game before. I've seen it on YouTube. Like in just like a you know funny dialogue with the with the character inside the game.
dead man in your head? Stick some iron in your mouth and pull the trigger.
Fair point. Eurodollars, or eddies, are going to be the money we use here in Night City. But how much is an eddy worth? To figure this
Yeah.
out, we're going to try and make a conversion rate between eddies and the current USD. Oh, why is Sean Bean on the screen instead of a Eurodollar symbol? Well, one time I accidentally misspoke when trying to say eddies and said netties instead, which made me think of Game of Thrones' Ned
Uh,
Stark, and I had a
I
hearty
don't watch
chuckle
Game
thinking
of
about
Thrones.
Sean Bean on a dollar bill. So anytime we talk about eddies, I'm just gonna put a picture of Sean Bean up to represent them. We already know Ned's head is pretty portable anyways. To figure out the conversion rate, I tried to compare the prices of common goods you'd find both in modern day and in Night City. That way we get an estimated conversion rate off of those prices. My first thought was to try the vending machines near the apartments you start the game at. Vending machines are generally pretty cheap no matter where you go in the world and can be a nice baseline to work off from. I checked out this corner of vending machines and found this one offering pre-packaged pies for 5 eddies. Based on some quick Google searches and my own memory, a pie like this would probably cost around $2 to $3 from your average vending machine. We'll make it $2.50 for our topic here. That makes the amount of currency necessary to buy a pie in Night City to be twice the amount you need in the current day, a ratio of $2 to 1 eddy. That seems good, but it's important to check other prices first before we finalize that value. We can check the other vending machine prices too. Drinks are a pretty common thing to buy, and in the US, you can expect a price of $1 to $1.50 for your average soft drink. Whereas a regular can of soda in Night City is, holy shit, 9 eddies? That's
Jeez.
6 times the price of a can of soda. Now, I'm not an economist, or good at math, or smart, but I think even smart people would be just as confused as I am looking at the prices of the items in the game, and there's a few reasons why. A few issues arise trying to compare real money to cyberpunk money. The first is inflation. The value of money had to change between
Yeah,
today and
makes
50
sense.
years from now, so our modern day dollar is already worth a lot less in the city.
I mean, the fact that it's a dystopian city is already sort of explained the inflation bullshit that's going on inside the game, I guess.
But on top of that, cyberpunk exists in an alternate universe that is best described as post-apocalyptic, and that makes money conversations even more complicated. Now we're about to talk about a lot of money here, and it may be quite a lot to take in, so before we start crunching the big numbers, let's talk about something we can do for free. Namely, our sponsor for today's video, War Thunder. The
I'm just gonna
largest,
skip. Yay, War Thunder. I don't play that game.
about the real money. A drink of water is usually pretty easy to find in real life. One of the cheapest drinks out there. Most places will give you a glass for free. Hey, I'm filming here. And for the most part, the filtration across most cities is good enough to give you reliable, safe to drink water. That is not the case in Night City. Here is real water, available for 99 eddies a gallon. I can get
Shit. Yeah, every water is already like, what do you call it again? Infected? Basically, like a dirty as fuck.
a gallon from Walmart for $1. The water in the cyberpunk universe is so contaminated that it's toxic to even
Yeah,
be in.
contaminated.
Fresh
Yeah.
filtered clean water is a luxury in this city. Comparing this to
If you want government file War Thunder, I never get into that game for some reason. Like it's kinda. Here's the thing, like I said before, I don't really play any other gacha game anymore. And one War Thunder seems like gacha game or maybe pay to win kind of game. So yeah, I mean it's a fun idea that you jump to this, place where you just fight each other with like a jet and then tank and shit. But yeah, I don't think I will enjoy the game if the game lean heavily more to the shop and shit. So yeah,
even
nah.
be it. Fresh filtered clean water is a luxury in this city. Comparing this to modern day water is just not
48 is
feasible.
Jesus.
And that goes for more than just what they drink. The worst problem, however, with comparing the prices isn't the inflation or even the apocalypse. It's video game mechanics. This is the Rayfield Erendite S9 Guinevere. The
Hell
most
yeah.
expensive car in Cyberpunk
100,000, I guess, if I'm not mistaken.
2077.
150.
A hypercar of the
It's
highest luxury,
150.
labeled by the game as being worth more than the GDP of many island nations. Okay, so just from that, we're talking about in the numbers of over $1 billion to beat the likes of the Cayman Islands, Greenland,
It's
yes, Greenland is an
150
island, Solomon Islands,
euro
and
dollar,
smaller
right?
nations. That's a pretty insane price, but we actually get a significant discount in the game thanks to Wakako, who acquired the
Yeah.
car through an Argentinian ambassador trying to dump all of his assets before fleeing the country. That means we can buy the car at the highly discounted price of 150,000 eddies.
I still
That's
remember the first time I play Cyberpunk and I see the car. Because if you start Cyberpunk with the gangster route, you will have a job to stole this car, right? You will have the job to stole this car. And then yeah, when the first time I play the car, play the game, play the car, goddamn. The first time I play the game and then sort of see this car, I was like, damn, that's a good fucking design. Jesus Christ. Like almost every single car in Cyberpunk is really good design, like actually good design, like car. It's not just video game car nonsense. No, it's just actually if you just put it into like a real world, this is gonna be like oh yeah, it's probably like a real car, something like that. And then yeah, this one is one of them. Unless with the solid metal window with like a screen inside. That one is kind of like, I mean, it's cool, but yeah, Jesus Christ. Street Kid, yeah, Street Kid, god damn it. Pedro, we going with Pedro route. The Pedro route, god damn it. Oh shit.
Discounted price of
Yeah,
150,000 eddies. That's
holy
literally
shit.
nothing. Even if we
And
convert
the
at the rate this
interior is
lady's book
fucking
presented
amazing.
us, that only reaches $10 million. A far cry from the
Fucking hell.
billion that the Rayfield is estimated to be worth. In other words, this is like selling a PS5 during the height of COVID for 20 bucks and a pack of gum. Obviously, the Rayfield only cost that much due to game mechanics, not any actual lore reason. An
Yeah.
issue that is going to come up a lot in this video. I've spent more than a page and a half of my script trying to find the worth of an eddy and have come up with 0 concrete answers. So at this point, I did what any idiot would do in this scenario and checked if Reddit had the answer instead. And they did! Reddit user Wiggly Otter, great name by the way, made a thread that went through most of the stuff we talked about here and even a few we didn't mention. They also couldn't find the answer for the Rayfield, so we're just gonna ignore that GDP bit and find a relative value
Alright.
of 3.2 USD for 1 eddy. We're gonna round that down to 3 just for easier math. Make sure to thank your local otters for their hard work.
Ah,
Let's
okay.
say that Vic makes a pretty average salary statistically, right in the median. For the US, that would be about 66,000 USD. Divide that by 3, and we learn that Vic earns roughly 22,000 eddies per year. So now that we know all of
Fucking
that,
hell.
what can Vic, with these circumstances, afford in Night City? We're gonna start with a place to live in. I feel like any adult under 30 already knows what it's like to live in a world where
Jesus.
90% of the houses
I
are
mean, yeah,
bought.
the inflation inside Cyberpunk is ridiculous, obviously. But god damn. Holy fuck.
I feel like any adult under 30 already knows what it's like to live in a world where 90% of the houses are bought up by corporations and rented out at
Yeah.
exorbitant prices, so you will feel right at home in the Night City housing market. Maybe we can still get a good rent price though. I'm gonna be very generous to Night City here and assume the rent prices we find include the utilities for the property. Water, electric, gas, etc. It's a big assumption to make, but we don't get clear numbers on what those utility bills would be, so we're just gonna put it together. I'd like to see our fella get a nice property, maybe in the Glen. We have this property available here with a lovely open apartment. Huge windows, massive TV, a small
Holy
kitchenette,
fuck.
and
I think this is the DLC
a
apartment,
lovely
right?
open apartment. Huge windows.
Yeah, I think this is the DLC one because yeah, when I start my playthrough a few weeks ago, yeah, in the map there's like a new apartment and shit, like a new icon for like an apartment, or maybe it's like an old apartment that I never fucking checked because I never bothered to change my house in Cyberpunk. Like, what the fuck would I do that? I just go around trying to find, iconic weapon. That's it. That's the gameplay that I'm having, and also play the story, obviously. But yeah, I never cared like about like the apartment and shit. But when he bring up like this, I think it's quite interesting. I guess. Yeah, I need to explore more, I guess. And also, I already uninstalled Cyberpunk, by the way. I need storage for more game in the future. I mean, yeah, I already finished the Phantom Liberty a few weeks ago. Yeah, you can check that on YouTube, by the way. I upload every single stream VOD on YouTube, so you can check that out. And I think the last Cyberpunk stream is the last part for the Phantom Liberty. I think I choose the songbird ending. I also try out adding other ending as well, but I do that on off stream. Yeah, I'm so stupid. I supposed to just stream that, but I don't know. Maybe later I just did what I can do. I don't know.
Windows, massive TV.
The Cyberpunk story playthrough need a lot more to be fun. I mean, here's the thing. I think it's already good enough. It's fucking amazing, especially the Phantom Liberty. Like the sheer of intense that you have when you play the DLC is even more than the regular story. Here's the thing. The regular story, I think the weak part is the main character, like V, like the main character. For like any other character is amazingly written. Like I know like CD Projekt Red, they can fuck up some games, but they cannot fuck they cannot fuck up a narrative. Like the way they write a story, the way they write a character, I think is already good. We see with The Witcher and shit, right? Then now with Cyberpunk, I think they prove once again that yeah, they can still write good story. The only weaker part is the main character. This sort of narrative that the main character is fucking dying and shit. Like, yeah, okay, like, come on, we're not really dying. I'm playing thousands of hours. This motherfucker is still alive. Like the sheer, yeah, no, the feeling of you need to get to the ending quickly because you are dying type of story is kind of like okay, you don't need to do that, I guess. But yeah, I think the fucking Quantum Liberty is way more intense. Like they just expel the expectation for like the fixed up version of Cyberpunk. So yeah, Silverhand in our head is story is boring. I think this makes sense for like those type of stuff, but I think it's not really like boring, like you said. For like to just manage to just say boring is not really. Nah, I don't think it's boring. Overuse is not. It's not even like overused type of fucking story. To have like a sort of this sort of constructed uh, virus mind rocker in your head, I think is interesting enough. It's not like boring. Like I don't know, explain boring. Goddamn, it's not just boring. Why? Why? Boring? Why? Like hello. I mean, if you just say boring, there's like something to it, like make me sort of stand up from the seat and then just go. There's a lot of games that do that, all right? And Cyberpunk is not one of them. To just say like the game is boring, either you don't like Cyberpunk genre, or you just doesn't really, uh, what do you call it? Like slow pacing because the pacing in the game is quite slow and that's good. Some game are just kind of rush, kind of things. Call of Duty has better. What the? Why would you compare to Call of Duty? What the? We talking about Cyberpunk and the goddamn cheap bullshit dystopian motherfucker. Like what the fuck? Why did you compare to? Holy shit! That's some far. I didn't even think that you want to. Oh, fucking hell. Call of Duty? Hello? Huh? Jesus Christ. Call of Duty? What the fuck? Okay. Oh, so I guess you just like other genre, I guess? Is that why? I mean, Cyberpunk is way different than Call of Duty. What the fuck? Holy shit, I thought like you're going to compare with like a maybe anime, like a cyberpunk anime, or maybe like a cyberpunk type of movie or something like that that has story driven. We're talking about the story, not the fucking gameplay, alright? We're not talking about just game. We're talking about narrative. Hello? Call of Duty, hello, Jesus Christ. I just spam the skip button because all of the time is all of the same fairy tale. I mean, how the fuck you know about the story if you just spam the skip button? I can do that for the Call of Duty even. Huh? Hello, I can do that for Call of Duty as well. And then don't fucking know about the story. And then just say the story is boring. That is the easiest thing to do. What the fuck? Okay, man, you need something else to just explain the boringness thing that you experience in Cyberpunk. Come on. God damn, you can do better than that.
A
Fucking hell.
small kitchenette and a spacious bathroom. This would be a
Come
very
on,
nice
explain
place
why
to.
it's boring, like a narrative perspective. Like why? Like why the story is boring. Is it the idea? For like the idea, why? Is it repetitive? Did you see this type of story before, or did you have like a is it the voice acting? Maybe like I think like some people complain about V voice acting being so what do you call it cringe. I guess I mean I can see why, but I think that's fine. I can sort of put that aside kind of thing. But yeah,
Massive TV, a small kitchenette, and a spacious bathroom. This would be a very nice place to live, and you'd only need 80,000 eddies. It isn't even the most expensive
fucking hell, Jesus Christ, back to the video.
place to
Holy
live, and you'd
shit.
only need 80,000.
Even in the game, I'm not gonna buy it. I can use the money for other upgrade. Jesus Christ, 80,000 for place to save your game. Fuck. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the fucking city and interior of in Cyberpunk is fucking phenomenal. But Yeah, nah, I can just use the money for something else for like an upgrade, something like that. Okay, it's just the same playthrough every time. Tutorial, Jackie dies, more tutorial, Panam Jet, same old, everything. What? What are you talking about? What do you mean same? What kind of same? Like the tutorial? Is it like just the same kind of every? Here's the thing. It's a progression story, no? So of course you're going to have like what do you? Huh? The same play? I mean, yeah, it's a fucking playthrough. What the fuck? Jesus Christ! Wait, I just hear some sounds like, oh, this is my brother. It's like, well, yeah, that's fine. Nothing. But yeah, like it's a playthrough. Of course, you're going to like put those things inside. Like what do you mean? No variety. What kind of variety? What do you mean variety? I experience a lot of variety in the game. Experience sadness, I experience like excitement, experience. I'm not gonna say horror. I'm going to say like some horror in there, like they trying to do like a body dysmorphia and shit, like a dismember bullshit. But it's a fucking video game. Some of them looks kind of like, oh, all right, kind of thing. Some of them looks cool, some of them looks not cool. But lack of variety is kind of bold claim. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean? You're going to just see like cyberpunk. Even just this is not narrative, but it's cyberpunk. Night City. You see this, and then you said it's not. This is not. This thing is not like a narrative stuff. No, this is you just running around the city, and every one of these have like a side quest and shit. You running around inside this, and then you say like, "Oh, there's no variety." Hello, the playthrough literally lead you throughout the fucking everything, like the most compact game, I guess. Every corner have new shit. Every fucking side quest it's being written like a main quest. Hello, what the fuck? Holy shit! No variety in here in this. What the fuck? Jesus Christ! Like this, like god dang. The word no variety doesn't really exist in fucking Cyberpunk. I don't. Here's the thing. I cannot see any other game that sort of have more like what do you call it? This sense of uh, that you being surrounded by things, kind of thing. Fucking my English is not good for this, but yeah, like the feeling of like, oh, over there is a thing. Over there is like new things that I probably want to find out what it is, but I have a fucking quest. I need to follow this first before I can just go there. The feel of exploration is coming back to my brain again when I play Cyberpunk. The narrative help the things a lot. So just to say like, oh, there's no variety, it's just kind of like, what do you mean? What kind of variety do you want? Like, do you want some, more than just dystopian story, or do you want more like a, do you want some horror in there, or more tedious? I guess. Oh shit! They literally bring this sort of, what do you call it? Yeah, like the story that you expect from cyberpunk world, I guess, right? Like the politics and shit that already been controlled by this mega corporation and stuff. Yeah, check. That's also the thing that I also expect. I watch like uh, what do you call it, Ghost in the Shell. So the cyberpunk aspect in that also exists in this one as well, with this body dismemberment and then fucking, you know, reflex enhancements also exist in what do you call it? goes in the shell. So yeah, the thing that we expect when we just say the word cyberpunk, and the variety in here is sort of, there's around those topic, I guess. So if you say like the variety is more to the outside cyberpunk, obviously it's not, you're not gonna find those type of stuff here. If you're asking for the thing that happened in Black Ops 2, or the fucking Call of Duty 2012, then yeah, you're not gonna find it here. But to just say like there's no variety in this cyberpunk genre that they were putting here in the game, I think not. Nah. You either skip the story so much that you cannot even put your mind into it, or you just, you just talking about something else. Which is, I cannot fucking understand what the hell do you mean by variety, because this is the variety of cyberpunk that I wanted so far. Gameplay, yes, it's just first person shooter bullshit, right? There's some more cool stuff in the game that they just update few years ago. But yeah, that's all. That's not about the narrative. Narrative doesn't really affect like the gameplay and shit. You just go here and there doing mission, and the mission is fucking incredible. Like the writing of the character, like how you get attached to it, like attached to the character as well. They are not just sort of presenting you with the, oh, do this mission, go here. No, you even have a fucking choice in the game. Did you know that? And you say you don't have like a variety, brother. I can betray Panam. I can betray Johnny. I can just straight up no. Even with Phantom Liberty expansion, you can literally fail the mission just by not playing the quest. That's it. Like that's how that's how much variety that they put in the game. Like the choice that you have and shit like that. You know what? The one that I want them to just put in the game is that uh, make the player can be whatever the fuck they want. They can be like a what do you call it? Like fuck. What? Reaper dog, yeah. They can be like a Reaper dog. They can be like a net watch. They can be like basically more to the background of the player, because the player just been given like three background, like you're a corpo and you're, you know, and shit like that. Like, it's just not too much background character, because we just role play as fee. We do not role play as ourselves, or maybe like a self insert type of game. No, we actually following a narrative. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I like the narrative. I like the things that they presented in there. So yeah, I just hope for them to just bring more new shit into the game, because I'm pretty sure they can bring more stuff. Like the sort of, especially with the character, the main character especially, because to be honest, the NPC in here, like all of them, is fucking likable. I don't know. Maybe some of them not. Like some of them is just out of my mind. But even the side quest NPC, the guy that his penis get get burned because he just sort of put some extension to it, and then we need to bring him to the Reaper dog, and then sometime later he pay us. That quest, I found that quest just by roaming around. That's how fucking deep the game is. Jesus Christ. Jesus, I still remember that day. Good luck with you. Holy fuck.
Eddies. It isn't even the most expensive property you can rent here. The apartment at the center of Corpo Plaza dwarfs the Glen apartment with 110,000 eddies.
Holy shit,
Oh,
it's almost the
by
same
the
as the
way,
car.
that price is per month. We only pay this price once in the game,
Ah,
but that's because Cyberpunk 2077's V goes on a cyber psycho tear throughout the city in the span of a couple weeks. Our Vic, however, plans to live a long and fulfilling life, and at the moment he can't even afford a fourth of that monthly price.
Yeah, I
They're
never
gonna
seen
have to find something cheaper.
these
This Japantown
places.
apartment is pretty. It's in a more dangerous part of the city, sure, but hardly the worst
Oh, I
area.
know
It's
this
got a
one.
decent view, kitchenettes,
Yeah.
comfortable vibes. I think this could be a great place to live. Oh, god damn it, 30K? Fine, fine. There's gotta be a cheap property around here
How about
somewhere.
the regular
The
one?
last
The
apartment
regular
available is
place.
on the north side in this little apartment building. It definitely is not a safe
Ah,
area as shown by the 1 gig you do here, but we will take what we can get. You have a
yeah, the
bed,
Korean
a
guy.
bathroom, no kitchen, an armory because every house in Night City needs an armory, all for the low, low price of 10,000 eddies.
Holy
Vic can
shit.
afford to be at this property for 2 months. That's assuming he gets his yearly salary together in that time
Yeah,
too.
the yearly income for like the character he just calculated is 66,000. Holy fuck.
I'm willing to make some concessions and say that these areas have cheaper properties without giant armories in them, but even with a discount, most of these are far outside the range we could afford. That leaves us with one option to look at, the mega buildings.
Yeah,
These places are
mega
practically
building.
an entire slum crammed together into a giant box, a place where the poorest are dumped to live in. And because of that, we can find probably the cheapest real price for a property in the city. We don't actually have a price for the apartment V lives in at the start of the game, but it's clear from the intro that this was the first property V could afford after moving out of Mama Wells' house. And given that they don't have 20K on hand to pay off the tab with Victor, it's a safe bet to say these apartments are cheaper than the ones we've seen so far. I'm gonna throw a Hail Mary price of 4,000 eddies per month for one apartment in the mega
Shit.
building, which I know is probably not correct, but I'm trying here, man. That means to stay in this property inside the mega buildings, you need an average salary of 48,000 eddies. So, we're gonna have
Alright.
to do some serious rethinking.
That just living. That just place to live. Not, is that already include food and shit? Because he already talking about the food before. Holy fuck. How about
None of the
transportation?
properties available in the game are anywhere near the salary we have here. Your first
Oh
thought in this
fuck.
moment is probably telling me to stop using the USD comparison and instead find the average salary of a Night City citizen. And that's a fair point, but you'll quickly realize that the USD option is the far more favorable one. In the book No Coincidence, a heist story set in the world of 2077, we learn that the job
Huh.
of a welder can earn 30 eddies per day working. That's about 3.75 eddies per hour if they worked 8 hours that day, which they probably worked more. Assuming they work, say, 6 days a week, they make about 720 eddies per month, or a little over 8,500 eddies per year. The in-game prices just aren't feasible even for the lowest rung of the city. I know the homeless situation in Night City is bad, but this would make nearly everything in the city impossible to live in. Corporations are greedy, but they still need a barn to put their cows in to milk them dry. I think we have another Rayfield scenario here, gameplay crashing with realistic pricing. And to make this discussion even feasible, we gotta change it. There's nothing that inherently places the rent price of these apartments at per month. So instead, we're gonna
Jeez.
interpret these prices as the yearly cost of staying at these properties. This makes the Glen apartment far more realistic at about 6,700 eddies per month, and the high-end properties like
That's
Corpo
still too
Plaza,
much.
around 9,200. This connects well with the Corpo V life path in the game too, as you're considered incredibly wealthy for having a little over 100K sitting in your bank account in the opening. Still, far beyond the price range of our Vic here, but this makes the low-end properties of Northside and the Mega Building far more feasible. We're gonna change the Mega Building apartment to be at 10K as well, meaning both of these properties charge 820 eddies per month to live in, or account for half of Vic's annual income. In case you're wondering, that would place these apartments at about 2,500 USD per month. And with that, we can finally move on to... Oh, damn it, I forgot about taxes. Yeah, even in a city managed by
fuck.
mega corporations, you still gotta pay government taxes. So now that we have a place to rent, we need to quickly find out the taxes our Vic has to pay. Since taxes aren't exactly detailed in the game, we're gonna use the current US tax rate for an individual making 66,000 USD per
Ah,
year,
fuck.
which is
I'm
roughly
pretty sure, come
23.5%.
on.
I'm gonna
I'm
round.
pretty sure somewhere, like in the source somewhere, that they sort of, talking about the taxes and shit. I'm pretty sure. Is it not? I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 is quite an old series, right? So, yeah.
66,000 USD per year, which is roughly 23.5%. I'm gonna round that up to 25% because I like round numbers. That means that regular Vic, with his 22,000 eddies salary, pays 5,500 eddies in taxes, as well as an additional 10,000 for his apartment rent, leaving Vic with a leftover amount of 6,500 eddies to cover everything else he needs to live for a year in Night City, or roughly 20,000 USD. Now, that sounds like a lot, but let's hold on to our Sean Beans for a minute here and think about what that
The chance that you're getting robbed, the chance that you're getting harvest in the street, the chance that your organ is gonna get harvest on the street is quite high. Holy shit! So I don't know, man.
means. We have water included in our rent, but we're not going to consider the tap water safe to drink here. And we have to eat food to sustain ourselves. Actually, I don't. I'm a PNG, but you would have to if you lived here. For our yearly grocery expenses, I decided to use the California average as our base. After very thorough research, I learned that the average single person in California spends roughly $100 on groceries per week, $400 per month, $4,800 per year. After converting to eddies, we get a cost of 1,600 eddies per year on groceries.
Man, I got a pretty good haul from the grocery store. I can't wait to use all these ingredients in a home-cooked meal. Oh, nuts.
Okay, we have to change the cost a
I
little bit
kinda
because
recognize
obviously
that
we're
face
not
for
in
some
modern
reason.
day California, and specifically, we don't have a kitchen. Night City's low-income housing is actually pretty clever in that regard. The apartments in the mega buildings don't have kitchens, and getting individual appliances to work with instead would not only be more of a hassle, but also difficult to manage given the apartment layout. But every apartment has a vending machine installed that you can buy whatever you need from. Food, water, women, men, guns, you really have the whole variety. Everything about the
God
design
damn.
is meant to encourage you to eat out, to consume from the vending machines, takeout, and restaurants instead of cooking yourself. That makes the average price you are going to spend on meals each day skyrocket, as we've already seen from the 9 Eddy vending machine soda, which is also the cheapest drink option. Energy drinks are 17 eddies. It also means that you
Jesus
can't
fuck.
save as much money on leftovers because this place isn't even equipped with a fridge. That's more money per meal with less value coming out of each meal prepared. We're gonna do our best here to save as much money as possible, but it isn't looking pretty. Vic is going to avoid vending machine food as much as he can, mainly buying from local stalls and restaurants, which offer cheaper prices. Vic's diet is going to consist of lots of matapong decaf, fake beef, and hot dogs. This is a good moment to
I
point out
mean,
that
not bad. Not bad. I mean, you know,
of lots of matapong decaf, fake
yeah.
beef, and hot dogs. This is a good moment to point out that there is practically no real meat in the entire city. Almost all animal life in the region is wiped out, and all of the meat we eat here is synthetic instead. So they have to do stuff like
That's fine.
locust pizza to replace your usual toppings. Oh, and all avian life in Night City actually went extinct thanks to the Avian Extermination Act of 2063, which ruled all birds within an 18-mile radius of Night City to be killed on sight. That was thanks to a disease spreading at the time through them. I guess we're not getting chicken either. Hey, is there a laser dot on my head? I don't have an exact statistic I can work with, but to account for all of this, I'm gonna say that this results in a 50% increase in total expenses for food, and even that's being pretty generous to Night City. That leaves us with a total of 2,400 eddies per year on food and groceries. And now we have 4,100 eddies left, or 12,300 USD. With all of our needed to not die needs met, this amount is enough to live somewhat comfortably on. But we're not done yet. Vic needs to keep working if he's gonna be making rent, so that means he's gotta commute to work each day. Now we gotta calculate how much his commute cost him in an average year. Now we could go the car route, but something says that purchasing a car in a mega corporatized world wouldn't be a great idea. Car manufacturers today are already jamming as many subscriptions as possible in cars. I don't even wanna imagine how many there would be in Cyberpunk. Beats. Time to go home.
Your free trial on acceleration has expired.
What?
To accelerate, please confirm your subscription to our premium driving plan, including acceleration, braking, 12-hour battery capacity, opening windows, air conditioning, and glove box. Radio, GPS, and speedometer not included.
Maybe a cheap, less software-dependent vehicle wouldn't be too bad for Vic, but
I mean, yeah, like everything is digital. Everything is fucking has like a software inside now. Even the truck, like the truck inside Cyberpunk, like the regular truck, have
I
like
think for
a
our purposes, we're gonna have him commute on
modern
public
things
transport,
inside,
namely
like the
the
software.
I talked
God
about the
damn.
maglev rail system Night City has in my last video, but I didn't actually give it that much credit. The rail line in the city is actually really good. It has consistent trains arriving at each station every 5 minutes, as shown by the monitors on the screen. And getting on and off of them is as simple as using your N-Cart pass. We're gonna make a scenario where Vic has to travel from his apartment in Mega Building H10 to the Shito Imports building where he works in the Glen. He can do this by entering the N-Cart terminal right next to the Mega Building and getting on the yellow line towards Pacifica. Vic then gets off the yellow line at Alexander Street and changes to the red line towards Mega Building H7. We then get off at Congress and MLK and take a short walk to Shito Imports. That's 2 metro fares to get on the 2 lines, spending a total of about 10 to 15 minutes on the commute. We'll use the LA Metro fare here as a reference, which is roughly $2. This is a bit biased, but I have a hard time believing that the N-Cart fare would be anything less than an Eddie. I mean, just listen to this.
How can you make a passenger buy 2 tickets just because she weighs more?
Oh shit. God damn it. The small conversation of the
Believing that the
NPC
N-Cart
as
fare
well.
would be anything less than an Eddie. I mean, just listen to this.
How can you make a passenger buy 2 tickets just because she weighs more? Talk to them. We're not passengers. We're Eddie signs.
We'll say instead of a 3-to-1 difference, it's a 1-to-1 this time, so 2 Eddies per fare. That's 8 Eddies per day on Vic's work commute. Let's say 5 times a
Oh
week, coming
shit.
to a total of 40 Eddies per week on Metro fares, 160 Eddies per month, and 1,920 a year. We'll round that down. After accounting for the commute, we are left with 2,200 Eddies. Okay, things are starting to get a little dicey, but I think we have everything we need now to live in the city. We have food, shelter, a safe commute, and our tribute to the corporate overlords. There's definitely nothing else we need in Night City. Like, say, a gun. We have all of these things
fuck.
now, but we're in Night City. A
Gun,
cyberpsycho
yeah.
could be around any corner about to rip you to shreds. There's gang members robbing innocent folk just down the hallway. We're gonna be killed just by walking to work one day, and if we want to avoid that, we're gonna need some protection. Thankfully, we only need to buy 1 weapon to keep on hand, because we're very unlikely to survive long enough to get a second one. We'll just head down to Second Amendment and get ourselves a handgun. Okay, well maybe it isn't even worth it. Let's try it inside the range.
What the fuck?
Huh. Okay, it works, but there's absolutely zero
There's still
chance we
some
can afford
bug
that.
inside the
We
game.
do need something though. Maybe a cheaper option, like a 3D printed single-use firearm. It's a good thing we have budget-armed vending machines
that's the-
just for that. I don't know though, maybe we should test them
Just
first.
single use. You cannot reload. If you reload this explode,
I'm just
it
testing
explode, I
it. It's
guess.
just a test. That'll be another 100 eddies, but we can now protect ourselves. But how much are we actually going to protect ourselves with just a gun? Even equipped with our unpainted Warhammer figurine, we're unlikely to win against a thug equipped in full cyberware. We probably should have some insurance in place to protect us. Emergency care in Night City is privatized, and in the
Oh,
event of an
God.
emergency, you need to be subscribed to their insurance plans to be helped. Most importantly, we want a trauma team plan to save us in the event of a medical emergency. There are 3 trauma team packages: Silver, Gold, and Platinum. Platinum offers a variety of services, but given that our Eddie wallet is already looking a little ghostly, we can assume that Platinum is out of the question. The Silver plan does mean we need to pay for every minute of transport, every bullet shot by trauma team specialist, all fuel spent in the course of a rescue, and any equipment damage sustained during, but that's just a small price to pay for the future. What do we have to pay right now? In the 2045 version of Night City depicted in Cyberpunk Red, the Silver plan was placed at 500 eddies per month. I am once again going to be generous here and say they have not changed that price for 32 years, and that it is still 500 eddies per month. That comes to a total cost per year of 6,000 eddies. Oh, we're in the red. Okay, we're in the red.
Yeah.
You know what? It's fine. We can go with the cheaper option. There's other medical services as shown in Cyberpunk Edge Runners. They're not as
Yeah.
good, but they maybe will save your
We
life.
never see any ambulance inside the game. Nope, there's no ambulance. There's no ambulance roaming around and then just, you know, helping people and shit. Nah, there's none of that. People just die on the street.
Or sell you off to scavs, either or. We can just bring that back up to 2100. We don't need that safety plan. But we may need an anti-malware service instead. See, a majority of the people in Night City have cyberware, and most workplaces actually require certain cyberware to work with them. So if you want to keep your job in the city, you better have that cyberware needed to keep up with it, which requires maintenance, proper care, and protection against netrunners should anyone try to hack into them. I don't have an exact number for how much that would all cost, but given that the basic hand cyberware can be a couple grand alone, I'm expecting the
Jesus.
price of it put together isn't too far off from that Trauma Team Silver plan. And we're back in the negatives. Actually, never mind, we don't need cyberware. That still leaves 2,000 eddies for us. We can work with
Yay.
this. Vic can either live without these specific protections in place, most likely dying in a couple weeks, or maybe we can find something else. I didn't mention them earlier, but there are some areas where you can technically have zero rent in the city. Both Pacifica and Dogtown are considered abandoned parts of the city, and the rundown apartments left behind in these areas are perfectly livable if you're up for a true post-apocalyptic lifestyle. That gives us back 10,000 eddies to work with, meaning we can afford the
Yeah,
silver
with
plan.
just
See,
mattress
this
and
can work.
wall.
We just need to be able to commute to... Okay, I see the issue with this. Pacifica is completely gang-ridden, so being able to travel through it safely is going to require costly protection. Not to mention Dogtown is completely gated. We're just gonna say that the taxes before are going towards paying off the gangs instead. Oh, and no public transport out here, so we're gonna need a car, which is gonna cost us at least 16 grand for a Mahir Supron FS3, the premier driving experience.
God
And we
damn.
also have to account for battery charging costs, which we can't do at our house since this abandoned building doesn't have power. So we gotta run our own generator and source our own polluted water to use and find our own food, and we probably still have to pay taxes if we work in the city, and we probably have an even higher chance of being killed here than inside the city, and maybe this is why everyone turns to crime in Night City. Look, I think we need to bring this back to the bigger
Well,
picture.
you
What
just
is the
explained it.
cost of living in Night City? We figured out enough here to definitively say that you would need to make at least 20,000 eddies per year to live in NC, or 60,000 USD. If you are able to make that much working here, you'd be able to have a home, food, and the tiniest bit of security. But you wouldn't be anywhere near safe. With zero protections in place, all it would take is being in the wrong place once to end it all. A drive-by, a cyber psycho, an angry corpo, an angry cop, automated weaponry. Really, anything could cause your life to end and become one extra stat on the daily death lottery. That's just how life would always be here in the City of Dreams. And this is the favorable outcome. We had to make a lot of generous assumptions here to even arrive at this number. Most wouldn't be as lucky as Vic to even have all of those eddies. They have to cut corners, starve a few days, rob someone in the night, or take bigger risks to make it by. It makes me wonder, why even bother? I think what made this question so fascinating to me is that despite the overwhelming costs looming over everything you need to live here, people are still living. There's still communities, small businesses, events, and gatherings. Life in a place so destructive. In a way, it makes you want to find out what these random faces in the crowd can find here. How they can simply be. Sure, they're struggling, but here they are, all the same. And if you want to be one of those people finding happiness no matter how
Yeah.
bittersweet in the crowds of Night City, I can't say I understand you, but I wish you luck
Phantom
on your trip.
Liberty and
I've prepared you as best I can. You know the costs of living in Night City. Now you just have to live in it.
As you step forward, the air around you parts into a grand pathway towards a place beyond your
holy
view.
shit.
A chill runs down your spine.
Yeah, what a
You
good
just
video,
stepped into the
goddamn it.
18-mile perimeter of the Night City limits. A laser sight has clicked onto your location. The Avian Extermination Act of 2063.
Oh fuck.
Oh, because he was a bird. Okay.
You should duck.
God damn it. Yeah, what a great video. God damn it. Also, I'm not subscribed to this guy. Yeah, I do enjoy it.